These are my note cards, but I'm not getting points for them because I have way too many. But that's okay. In a world overrun by zombies, what's more terrifying, the monsters outside or the people standing right next to you? When we imagine an apocalypse, we often picture chaos caused by creatures like zombies. But history shows that when society collapses, people don't always work together. Instead, fear and desperation can cause people to turn against each other just to survive. And in any apocalyptic situation, survival wouldn't just depend on avoiding zombies. It would depend on how people treat one another. I've always been interested in zombie shows like The Walking Dead, and that curiosity led me to dive deeper into human behavior and how people behave during a crisis. And what I found was even more concerning. Although zombies pose a physical threat, humans would be far more dangerous in an apocalypse because fear causes panic, resources create conflict, trust breaks down, and people are capable of intentional violence. During events like COVID or Hurricane Katrina, we've already seen how quickly human behavior can break down. People panic, stores are bought out, and in some cases, communities experience conflict instead of cooperation. For example, during the early days of COVID-19, I'm sure you remember how people rushed to stores and bought supplies in bulk, leaving people without basic necessities. This shows that even in modern society with laws and structure, fear can still drive people to act selfishly. If people can become dangerous without zombies, then in an apocalyptic scenario where there are no rules or authority, the threat posed by other humans would be even greater. So why does this happen? To understand that, we first need to look at how humans respond to extreme stress and fear. In life-threatening situations, the body activates what's called the fight or flight response. According to Howard Lewine, chief medical editor of Harvard Health Publishing in 2024, the fight or flight response triggers a cascade of stress hormones that prepare the body to react instantly to danger. This means in high-stress situations, people aren't thinking logically, they are reacting automatically. Your heart rate increases, breathing speeds up, and the brain prioritizes speed over reasoning. Because of this, people may make impulsive decisions. This could be abandoning others, acting aggressively, or misjudging threats. In an apocalypse, these panic-driven reactions could put even more people in danger. Beyond fear and panic, another major factor that increases danger is how people compete for limited resources. In a 2020 article for the BBC, journalist Brian Lufkin explained that during the COVID-19 pandemic, people began stockpiling essential goods out of fear, which led to shortages for others, which we have said. And this behavior shows how quickly people shift from cooperation to competition when resources are limited. Instead of sharing, people focus on protecting what's theirs. In an apocalypse where food, water, and shelter are even more scarce, this competition would likely become more intense, leading to conflict, theft, and even violence. As competition increases, another serious consequence begins to develop, a breakdown of trust between people and everyone, society. According to economist Annemiek Schulpsund, in a 2023 Science Direct article, disasters can reduce trust towards outsiders, but it may increase trust within small groups. This means people may be more loyal to their small group, but more suspicious of others. In a survival situation, this can make cooperation between groups nearly impossible. Instead of working together, people may isolate themselves, making the overall situation more dangerous for everyone. Where trust disappears, the situation becomes even more dangerous because humans are capable of something that zombies are not, which is intentional and strategic violence. In 2022, reviewers Madeline Meehan and Todd Shackelford discussed the book called Violence, A Very Short Introduction, written by Philip Dwyer. They explained that most people never have to choose between killing and not killing, because society normally has structure and authority, but in an apocalypse, that structure would disappear. This means that some people may use violence strategically, not just out of fear, but as a calculated way to gain power or resources. This makes humans far more unpredictable and dangerous than zombies. When you combine fear, competition, lack of trust, and violence, it creates a world that looks very different from what we might expect. Imagine walking into an abandoned town. The streets are quiet, the buildings are empty, and there's no sign of normal life. And then imagine that you see a person off in the distance. Instead of relief, you feel uncertainty. Are they going to harm you, or are they going to help you? In this world, people form small groups that guard their resources and treat outsiders as threats. Trust becomes rare. Even something simple as asking for food could turn into a dangerous situation. Zombies would still be a threat, but they would be predictable. You know what they want, and you know how they behave. But humans, on the other hand, they can lie, deceive, and make calculated decisions. In this kind of world, survival wouldn't just depend on avoiding zombies. It would also depend on constantly questioning who you can trust and whether the people around you are as dangerous as the threats outside. Now, to summarize, ultimately, an apocalypse wouldn't just test survival, it would test human nature. The way people respond under pressure could either make a bad situation worse or help others survive. That's why understanding human behavior is just as important as being prepared for the threat itself. You could start preparing now by putting together a basic emergency kit with water, unperishable foods, flashlights, batteries, a med kit. And even in 2011, the CDC, a leading US public health organization, they created a zombie-themed preparedness campaign to encourage people to get ready for real emergencies like natural disasters or disease outbreaks. Taking the steps like this not only helps you survive, but it also helps you stay calm and make better decisions under pressure. In the end, zombies may destroy the world, but human choices will decide who survives it.